Hello.
Aloha, Brother Johnny.
Hey, how you doing?
What's going on, man? Dave Lawrence here. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. And is that basically like your speaking voice? Like you're about as loud as you'll be?
Yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. I'll just put a short intro on it and then we'll get started, okay?
Okay, great.
Thanks, brother. Aloha, it's Dave Lawrence. How you doing? I hope you're doing good. Today we're getting to speak with a true legend. We've got him on the line ahead of a 4-island tour he's doing starting April 7th in Honolulu, then April 8th in Kahului, April 9th on the Big Island in Honoka'a, and April 10th in Lihue. It is a wonderful thrill to welcome the legendary Johnny Winter. Aloha and mahalo, Brother Johnny. Thank you so much for taking some time for me.
Sure.
It's good to finally get to talk to you. For the record, it was 2007 when you last played here, right?
Yes, it was.
You have any memories of that visit?
No, it was real nice. Real nice. I got a ukulele on that trip.
You picked one up while you were here?
Yeah.
And what else sticks out about it?
Oh, it was just really pretty. People were very nice.
Is there anything different about playing Hawaii than other places that you visit? You go all over.
No, it's pretty much the same. The people are just about the same.
And was that the last time you were here, or have you visited since when you came to play?
No, that was it.
Okay, that one trip. And prior to 2007, what were some of the other, when was the last, how many other times have you come to play live?
That was it. That was it for Hawaii. That's the first time we played was 2007.
Wow, that was your debut after all these years.
Yes, it was.
What's kind of cool is your musical journey. It's funny you mentioned your last time here, you picked up the ukulele. Your musical journey really has a piece of Hawaii prominently featured right in the very root of your history. When you and Edgar were very young, you went on the Don Mahoney and Gina Claire show. And I was hoping that you'd share some memories of doing that, what you can remember, because it involved a critical instrument to Hawaii, the ukulele, and you playing it on TV.
Yeah, that was the first time that we were on TV. We started out playing ukuleles.
What drew you to the ukulele?
I really can't remember. I was like 9 or 10 when we started playing. My father played banjo, and it was tuned the same way, so he taught me the first few chords on the uke. That's probably what got us started.
And then you took it on TV. What was it that you guys played?
Oh, we played all kinds of different stuff. We sang harmonies, parts, and can't remember any of the songs that we did so long ago.
But did you keep up with the ukulele, or did you just move on, and that was really just an initial instrument, if you will?
Yeah, I started playing guitar when I was about 12. I started playing uke when I was about 9. My hands got big enough for guitar at 12, and I figured I'd better switch. Yeah.
And then you never owned one until your trip back here?
No, I never did.
Wow, so it's kind of like coming full circle in a way.
It sure was.
All those years later. And how about the banjo? Is that something you ever play or no?
No, I never was a banjo player. I picked up my father's, played a little, but that was about it.
What about pedal steel or steel guitars?
Never tried to steal at all.
That could be something you grab on your next trip, I'm just thinking. another piece of Hawaii music that you can conquer, yeah?
Yeah, no kidding.
And you don't happen to have video footage or film footage, do you, Johnny, of when you and Edgar were on that show as little kids?
Oh, no, so long ago. I don't think they were doing it back then. It'd be great if we did.
Man, I bet, huh? People would love watching that.
Pictures of us back then, but no videos.
You have pictures of you as a little boy with the uke?
Yep, sure do.
That's great. Well, you get me. I think when you were here, did you actually bust one out on stage the last time?
Yeah.
You did. How did you use it in the show?
No, I didn't use a uke. No, I didn't understand what you were talking about. I didn't use uke on stage.
Okay. Maybe this time you can bust that thing out. You know, a few years after that happened to you, it was really, when you read your history, there's a lot of great people that you kind of bump into, that you end up working with, and as you listen to the sound that you've laid out for us for decades, you can really see where the roads, I guess, cross, the paths cross. And one of those guys is coming to Honolulu in April himself, and that's B.B. King. And I was hoping you'd kind of take me back when you were just a kid in Beaumont, Texas, at the Raven. What are your recollections of that critical experience with B.B.?
Well, I really wanted BB to hear me play, and I always loved his music. And he thought we were from the IRS, we were white people there. He was kind of behind his taxes, and he thought we were from the IRS coming to bug him about his taxes. I think he was so glad that we weren't that he really let me play, even though if he didn't know if I could or not. He never heard me. He didn't know if I was any good or not.
And so he let you up. What happened?
Well, I got standing ovation.
And you played just one tune?
Yes.
With him or by yourself?
With the whole band, with his band.
And he up there too?
No, he wasn't. He had to use his guitar, so he wasn't playing.
Was it Lucille?
Yeah, it was. It was Lucille. I got to play Lucille.
Oh, God. Oh, man. I can imagine why you'd never forget that.
No, it was the first time I played for black people, and they liked it. And that really, I figure if you make black people like a white kid playing the blues, it's got to be pretty cool.
There's no question about that, man. And that really is something I guess we kind of have in common. I grew up in the Philly area, which is a very, integrated sort of place. And I was really affected by, the Brothers when I was growing up and a lot of music, kind of like you, more funk music a little later in life. But I was curious if you had any memories of when you used to hang with Clarence Garlow, the DJ at KJET, and kind of describe maybe for me what you learned from him, Johnny.
Well, he was the first blues guy that I ever met. And he had a radio show from 5 to 6 on KJET, and I listened to him all the time. And I met him the first time I was giving guitar lessons at the music store, and he came in to buy strings, and I recognized his voice and started playing one of his songs. And he came back and introduced himself. He said, "You know who I am, don't you?" I said, "Yeah, sure." And, we talked for a while. And he used to come up and ask him to play songs for me all the time on the radio.
And so you feel like, was that sort of one of your introductions into the blues, or?
Yeah.
Did you keep in touch with him after you became a successful musician?
Yeah, I did. He came over. I was in Beaumont and did a newspaper interview where I mentioned him as one of my influences, and it really made him happy. He came over and we jammed a little bit and talked.
That's really cool of you. It shows a lot about where you come from as a person. And another thing early in your life, how did you hook up with Willie Dixon originally? I knew Willie from when we went to Chicago. I can't remember the first time I really met him. The only time the first time I met him, he played on my first record in Johnny Winter in 1969. That was the first time I met him. It wasn't in Chicago. And what really impressed you about him that all these years later you think, when you think of Willie Dixon, what is it you think of?
Great songwriter. Great songwriter. He's one of the best blues songwriters there ever was. He wrote songs for everybody.
But it's really a testament to your sound, all these guys you got to spend time with. But at the same time, you've also sort of given back in some ways. And when I think of Muddy Waters as an example, I wonder if it satisfies you personally knowing that his greatest financial success in life really was in part due to you and the records that you did with him.
That made me very, very happy.
Say that again?
That made me very happy. I couldn't have been more happy to do that for Muddy. Because I always loved him and loved his music, and being able to help him out was the greatest thing in the world for me. So I sure loved playing with him.
And did he tell that to you? Was he really grateful to you?
Oh, sure. Yeah, he called me his son, and he knew how much I'd helped him. He was always very appreciative.
When you first got to meet Muddy, were you an established artist at that point?
No, before I made it, I was about a year before, in 1967, in Austin, Texas, at a club called the Vulcan Gas Company, hippie club, and we opened up for Muddy there. And I got to meet him and talk to him then.
Of all your time with him, both that you were in the studio recording, you guys have been in clubs and live, what is an enduring memory or story of recording or performing with Muddy that you can tell us?
The best time I ever had with Muddy, he fixed the gumbo.
So he cooked up some delicious gumbo.
It was so hot you could barely eat it.
And when and where was this?
Gumbo.
When and where was that?
Pardon?
When and where did he cook up the delicious gumbo?
It was at his house in Largemont, Illinois, in the late 70s.
And that was in the time when you were starting to work on the records?
Yeah, we'd already made a couple of records by then.
What got you into the studio with him? What was it that put you together? Was it an agent or something, or his request?
Yeah, a guy named Ron Luxembourg at Columbia actually came up with the idea of me doing it. And everybody liked the idea. His manager, Scott Cameron, called my manager and asked if I'd be willing to do it. And I said, of course I would. I'd love to.
So it was pretty instrumental of that guy. What's his name again, the guy who hooked you up? What's the name of the guy who hooked you up again?
Ron Luxembourg.
Wow, pretty important hookup, huh?
Oh, very important.
Especially considering the satisfaction that it gives you having done those records. What's your favorite one of the recordings that you did with him?
The first one, Hard Again, was the best one, I think.
And what sticks out in the recording process?
Oh, I tried to make it sound old. We had a room mic in the middle. We had everything mic'd individually, of course, but we had the room mic to pick up a lot of room sound, try to make it sound older.
And so you can remember sitting around actually working on it in the studio with him?
Oh, sure. I remember every second of Muddy.
Was there any advice that he gave you that to this day it still rings true?
Listen to as much music as you can and play as much as you can.
That's something you picked up from him?
Right. You know, you got to listen to other people to get good, and you got to play a lot to get good.
You got to listen to other people? Is that what he said?
Oh, sure, yes.
Who were some of the people I'm sorry?
Yeah, you need to hear what other people are doing that came before you.
When these days, when you seek inspiration, who are the people who inspire you these days?
Well, all the old people. Just nobody new that inspires me. All the old guys. T-Bone Walker, BB, Buddy, Little Walker.
When you think of BB today, when was the last time you got to see him?
Pardon?
When was the last time you got to see BB?
At Crossroads.
With Clapton?
Yeah, 2010.
And all these years later, is it just as magical for you or inspiring to be around him?
Oh, he's the greatest guy in the world. He spends hours talking to fans and doing autographs. I'd never do what he does.
Yeah, I was going to say, that production he does after the show, meeting everybody, pictures, signing stuff. I've interviewed him 4 times. He's very accessible.
Oh, he's very accessible. Anybody can meet him.
Yeah, he's a special guy. I was just curious how it was all these years later you looked at him because he was so important in your early years.
Oh, yeah, I love BB.
Last summer, I was really lucky, Johnny. I got to see your brother. I've seen him before, but last summer I got to see him with Ringo Starr at Radio City Music Hall.
Right, yeah.
It was a great gig. How often do you guys talk?
Edgar and I?
Yeah.
Well, I just talked to him yesterday.
So you talk every day, every other day?
No, we usually talk every month or so, but it was my birthday yesterday, so he called me up.
And the happy belated birthday. What's your vibe like with him? What do you guys talk about?
Oh, we didn't talk about much. He just wished me happy birthday. We talk.
So would you say you're not that close to him these days?
Oh, I'm very close to him. Yeah, but really love Edgar. We don't really see each other that much, but I always, care about him, and he cares about me. So we don't really have to talk. We know the way each other feels about each other. So it's not really that important.
Right, because you both have established it over the course of the years. That makes sense. What do you think, when you think about your brother, what do you think some of his gifts or talents are, Johnny?
Oh, he's one of the most talented musicians I've ever met. I would rank his talent up there with Ray Charles.
Okay, so you'd rank him out highly. In for what? His versatility with instrumentation?
He can play anything. He can play any instrument without even trying to. He can just pick up. He plays drums, bass. About the only thing he doesn't play is guitar, and he used to play that. But I started getting into guitar, so he just plays everything else.
So when you guys were kids,
his first band, he took people that couldn't play anything and taught them all how to play. I couldn't believe he could do that.
And why do you think he would do that rather than get seasoned pros?
I think they were just the only people that were around. He didn't really have access. He was just a little kid. He didn't really have access to good musicians.
When was the last time you guys actually jammed together?
We did a blues cruise 2 or 3 months ago. Yeah, he played with my band. He sat in.
Okay, so it's like you guys together with your band backing you up.
Yeah, yes, it was.
That sounds tasty.
Fun. We had a lot of fun doing it.
I can imagine. I can really imagine. The guy is so versatile. Like I remember watching him up there with Ringo, just thinking he's such a showman. He's so talented. He has so much energy and enthusiasm.
Oh, he can play anything. He can really play anything.
When you think back to when you guys were kids, and we were talking about this earlier, and I'm just fascinated because I'm sure you can understand being here in Hawaii. Were you both playing the ukulele, or was it just you?
No, both. I started playing first because I was 2 years older, and then he started playing ukulele after I did.
So you were both playing it?
Right.
And would you play together ever?
Yeah, we played together all the time.
Like harmonizing and stuff on the ukulele?
We sang harmony and both played ukes.
And was there any Hawaiian music laying around back then, or it was just the instruments?
No, I didn't hear any Hawaiian music. I'd never heard any Hawaiian music.
And so years later, did you make the connection?
I knew the ukulele was a Hawaiian instrument.
Say that again?
I knew the ukulele was a Hawaiian instrument, but I didn't have any Hawaiian influences from stuff I was doing.
Sure. All these years later, are there any musicians who play it professionally that you admire?
Ukulele?
Yeah, have you ever heard like Jake Shimabukuro?
No, never have. I don't know anything about Hawaiian music, I'm sorry to say.
And that's okay. No, that's fine. I was just curious because it's so cool that many years ago you were playing it. And that's nice that you picked one up the last time you were in the state too. You've done a lot of musical festivals.
One that guy in Hawaii had one that he made especially for me.
Say that again, Johnny?
There was a Hawaiian guy that made the ukulele especially for me.
As a gift?
Yes.
What a nice thing.
No, I thought it was very nice.
That's cool. Is that just a fan at the show, or is that somebody whose name you have?
I don't remember his name. I should, but I don't.
It's okay. You're giving him credit anyway. And you don't have any other friends out here that I need to know about? Like, is Willie Nelson one of your buddies?
No, I've never met Willie. I like his music, but I've never met him. We're on the same label.
Wow, never met him.
Never met him.
You know, he lives on Maui. Maybe he would show up at your concert over there.
That'd be cool. I didn't know he lived. I thought he still lived in Texas.
Well, he's probably got a house in a couple places, but he definitely has one over on Maui. He's a pretty big part of the community over there. So is his son, Lucas.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. How about the Doobie Brothers? Patrick Simmons, you know him?
Yeah, I do.
He lives over there, too.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so a lot of people might show up at your show because you're a pretty legendary guy. I can imagine that all these guys we've been mentioning have a lot of respect for you. They could very well show up.
It'd be nice if they did.
Well, I hope they show up at the Honolulu show myself. Just selfishly, I'd rather have it over here. Well, as we wrap this up, one of the shows that you did that I'm always curious what people think of, Johnny, and I'm sure you've talked about it many times, but all these years later, with the perspective of hindsight, if you will, think about back to Woodstock. How does Woodstock stack up against a lot of the other festivals you've experienced?
Well, it was the best, definitely the biggest. It was a mess, though. It was raining and muddy. It was a real mess, but it was still great.
How did you get there?
Helicopter, you couldn't drive in the roads at all. I mean, there were miles and miles of cars. Everybody had to get in by helicopter.
People just left their cars on the side of the road, huh?
Yeah, left their cars and walked. Some people walked like 10 miles to get there.
That's just crazy. It's hard to imagine people doing that today.
It's impossible to imagine doing it.
Yeah, leaving your car, it's like, forget that.
No, everybody wanted to go so bad. They did all kinds of things to get there.
Did you see any other performers when you were there? Was there any performances that stick out?
I was really tired. I was really tired, and I went to sleep on a bag of garbage for a fellow as soon as I got there. And I got up to see what was going on. And he said, "Oh, you guys are all here. Go on now." Well, I didn't see anybody, and we left as soon as we were through. But it was really hard to get out.
Amazing. Amazing. And finally, two final questions. One, is there a place on the planet where you feel most at peace, and why?
At home. At home, because my wife is there.
And where are you calling home these days?
Connecticut.
Nice. New England boy.
Yeah.
I used to live in Boston for a long time.
That's where I feel most at home and home.
That's cool. A Texas boy feels most at home in Connecticut. I like that. That's something you wouldn't expect. And as a final sort of note, if you could do an audio summary, if you were to describe for the island fans, and also, Johnny, for some of the newcomers who may be coming to your 4 different dates here in the state, how would you describe what's in store for folks?
Mostly blues and a little rock.
So it's going to be really a blues-based show.
Yes, it is.
Very electric, or is there going to be any acoustic?
It's bluesy.
Anything acoustic or all electric?
No, all electric. You just can't make acoustic guitar good enough to hear it well.
So it'll be real loud.
It'll be loud, I guarantee you. It'll be loud.
I like that.
Very loud.
I like that a lot. Well, I hope that we can get together when you come to town, and I really appreciate you taking some time for me, brother.
Not sure.
You're the man, Johnny. I'm high-fiving you. I look forward to seeing you when you come to town.
All right, I look forward to seeing you too.
Travel safe, my brother, and thank you again.
Sure will.
Aloha.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
This is Johnny Winter kicking back with my friend Dave Lawrence. This is definitely a moment I've been looking forward to. Hey, Brother Dave, have a happy, healthy 420. Hi, everybody. This is Johnny Winter. You're tuning to the only show that matters with my buddy Dave Lawrence.